side of the court as Steph Curry.
I'm excited just to, to be able to be on the floor with him and not have to chase him around and try to contest him and all that. So the fact that we're on the same side, it's something that it's special for me, and I'm really gonna try to take advantage and learn from him as much as I can. He sees the game in a very incredible way, and I'm just gonna follow suit and really lean on him and lean on Draymond to kind of show me the way.
Can you blame Al? No one wants to have to chase around Steph Curry as a defender. Right now, welcoming in our Warriors reporter, Anthony Slater, live at Chase Center with that gorgeous Bay Area view in the background. Slater, training camp, it was a little bit busier today. How are guys like Horford and Kuminga, he's back, right, acclimating to this team?
Yeah, Al Horford, like you said, did his intro presser about 20 feet to my right yesterday. He said he did not contemplate retirement this summer. He actually signed a 2-year deal. I think the big thing is he's already acclimating. He was in the San Diego for the camp with Jimmy Butler. They called it a seamless fit. It's very obvious to see how he fits in this Steve Kerr system. There's no concerns there. One of the interesting things about Al Horford and what Steve Kerr's talked about how he fits into every lineup, I think it's fair to say, Jonathan Kuminga's negotiations this summer were contentious, but one of the things that both sides agreed upon was signing Al Horford would hard cap them, to this mid-level, but even Kuminga side thought it was such a great signing because Al Horford, as a stretch center, as a 5 that can shoot the ball, is going to help every lineup, really including the lineups that have Jonathan Kuminga in it, because one of the issues for Kuminga has been a lack of space at times, and I think this coaching staff, I know actually, is very interested to see lineups that have Horford and Kuminga in them.
Interesting. So that's something that we will certainly be keeping an eye on. There's been so much conversation about Kuminga, his role with this team, but we know, at least for now, to start the season, he is there, and they are determined to try to make the most of it because this is a group that has their eyes on a championship to maximize the end of Steph Curry. I feel like I say that all the time, maximize the end of Steph Curry. Anthony Slater, thank you so very much. The Warriors are, though, as Anthony mentioned, if Al Horford is in the starting lineup, some might call it seasoned, some might say old. On this show, we like to highlight the approach, right? With Al Horford in the fold, Golden State could start 5 players over 35 on opening night. They would be the second team to have 5 players that old at the beginning of the year since the Mavericks in 2011-2012. So Bobby, Horford, Buddy, Curry, Jimmy, Draymond, the oldest starting lineup since those Mavericks. Given that, how confident are you that this Warriors team, now that we know what their roster looks like, they can fulfill their goal here of making it all the way to an NBA championship?
Well, first put me in the category of seasoned. It's not old. I am in the camp of being seasoned here. I think, Malika, look, when you have Stephen Curry on the court, anytime you have a chance, I think we have to look at what the body of work in the second half of the season was. Last year when they made that Jimmy Butler trade, how good this team was. We don't know where they would have gone in the playoffs if Curry had stayed healthy. Could they have beaten Minnesota? And when you look at the off-season additions, you basically you add Al Horford, you lose Kevon Looney, you bring in Seth Curry, and you also bring back D'Anthony Melton and Jonathan Kuminga. So your bench, of course, gets better. So they've got a chance. Are they in Oklahoma City territory? No, but they're in the mix with the rest of the teams in the Western Conference.
Whenever you have Steph Curry on your roster, you are always in the mix. And now it's just about putting that 23-8 that we saw down the stretch of the season since they traded for Jimmy Butler, putting that record out, extrapolating it over the course of the season. The biggest thing for them is going to be, can they stay healthy? It's so important for a seasoned squad. Let's stick in the West here. Victor Wembanyama gearing up for year 3. Remember, he missed the final 29 games of last season with a blood clot in his shoulder, and he spoke about the rigorous training he went through at Media Day. Take a listen.
I can assure you nobody has trained like I did this summer, and this is my best summer so far. Like I can tell the progress is just incredible. I'm so much more under control, and my conditioning has gotten so much better. But that comes at a price, you know. And what I've done this summer, it's world class.
That's a pretty scary thought to think about as we say hello to Michael C. Wright, who covers the San Antonio Spurs for us. Michael, what specifically has Victor done this summer? He's calling it the best one he's ever had.
Well, Malika, like he said, that deep thrombosis diagnosis, it's shocking to him. It really sort of made him take a pause and and sort of put life into perspective. So going into the offseason, he was in a way sort of seeking inner peace. And to get there, he wanted to really push himself physically and mentally in ways that he never has before. And that sort of took him all over the globe. The guy's in Costa Rica, Tokyo, LA, France, and then he's in China. He spends 10 days in China training with Shaolin monks. And what they're doing there, they're doing Kung Fu. They're doing meditation. They are like every morning he's having a vegan breakfast that consists of rice, noodles, and zucchini. Now, Victor thinks that all those things are going to help him on the floor this upcoming season. But I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that he went out to Houston. He trained with Hakeem Dream Olajuwon. He went out there on Dreams. He went out there on Dreams 400-acre ranch, and those guys got into the lab. Now, I don't want to get too deep into it, but Malika, could you imagine Victor Wembanyama doing the Dream Shake with his own little twist on it?
Yeah, there's going to be a French twist on the Dream Shake. That is something that I cannot wait to see that deployed this upcoming season. So Victor, he says he's coming back better than ever, right? As healthy as he's been. And we're so glad to hear that because we missed him on the floor down the stretch of that season, last season rather. But the Spurs aren't as healthy as they'd like to be, right, to start training camp. So what can you tell us about De'Aaron Fox and then also their number 2 overall pick, Dylan Harper?
Well, let's start with De'Aaron Fox first. Now, throughout training camp so far, he's been able to participate in everything. He'll tell you that he's ready to go. He said, hey, man, I'm running 15.3 miles per hour on the treadmill. He said, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to be able to participate in the preseason or in the season opener because traditionally the San Antonio Spurs like to err on the side of caution when it comes to bringing guys back. So they're going to really keep a close eye on him and make sure he's 100% before they bring him back. Now, Dylan Harper, he's got that thumb injury, but he's ready to go. He's a guy right now that can do everything on the basketball court, dribble, shoot, whatever you need to do. But again, they are being cautious with him because they don't want him to get hit on that sore thumb and have an injury setback. But the plan right now is for him to play in the preseason, and he will be ready to go in that season opener on October 22nd.
Okay, so a little bit of a cautious approach here for the San Antonio Spurs before we see their full group out on the floor. Michael Wright, thank you so very much for your time. Victor Wembanyama is a unique singular force, though, in the NBA. The shortened start to his career, it didn't dim his light. He's the only NBA player in league history with 400 blocks, 200 three-pointers, in their first 2 seasons. So perk, only I don't think is the word of the day. Do you have a word of the day on Wemby for year 3, what you're expecting for him?
Listen, I know sometimes I trip y'all out with my English, but just wait till you hit his French, okay? I do got a word of the day. Inéritable. Repeat after me. Inéritable. You know what that means?
I do not.
Unstoppable in French. Inéritable, unstoppable in French. We seen him working out with the Dream. We saw him getting some mentorship from KG. Even last season, we saw him working out with Jamal Crawford. Look, in a few years, maybe this year, he might be the best player on both sides of the floor. We know what he brings defensively and his impact. Could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year if he would have stayed healthy. But outside of that, offensively, he's going to take that leap. This young fella is a hard worker. He's shown us that since he's entered the league. He put on 12 pounds of muscle his rookie season. So the word I have to describe Victor is inéritable.
Inéritable. Perk's Parisian pronunciation guide coming to you soon. Our first NBA preseason game, it's Sunday on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. The Warriors hosting the Lakers. It's at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. We'll be with you, WNBA Countdown rather, at 8 o'clock. Before we head to break, we have a sad update to a story we shared on this show a year ago. Former college basketball player Kyle Owens has passed away at the age of 24. Kyle gained national recognition after this incredible buzzer beater in February of 2024 that landed him on the SportsCenter top 10. And then a month later, he was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia while at UC Riverside, just a few hours before his senior night. Now, he actually played in that game despite his diagnosis. Kyle's teammates, they remember him as someone who brought energy to every practice and every game and who carried himself with humility and with strength. And even in the face of his illness, he inspired so many others through his determination and his grace. All of us here at NBA Today, we send our deepest condolences to Kyle's parents, Tonya and Keith, his brother Trevor, and all of those who loved him. Kyle was a tremendous light. And
you.